It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized into this. Get right on it, Chief.
But Bubba's my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Gonna be held tight, well now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT. Heat of the night on TNT. Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have 'em some fun, 'cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything can happen in the heat of the night on TNT. Hubba, 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 heat of the night on TNT. Yeah.
CX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody's grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank Almighty!
Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Well, Bullet Bob Leone.
Good morning. I guess it's afternoon most places, huh?
Bob the Bullet Leone.
Yes.
Alan Autry. You are not Alan Autry. No. Not last time I checked.
Far from it.
I am not Alan Autry. I'm Guillermo Moreno. Bob the Bullet, that's the voice that you just heard. We're filling in for, what do you call, I mean, you've known Alan Autry for how long now?
Oh, let's see, probably 60 plus years at least.
So he's a good friend of yours. You know?
Yeah.
And we all see him as Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Mayor. Is it different, like growing up with Alan and then seeing him achieve? He says he's, I just done a couple things in life, but I mean, the man is.
I have to tell you though, and I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, on his birthday, I think.
Yeah.
That he is still
49. 49 looks 49 good on him, man. Yeah, 49 again. Yeah, going backwards.
He is still, to me, the same guy that I grew up with years ago. He really, I mean, here's a guy who had really a Walter Mitty life today. I mean, he played pro sports. He was in politics.
Yeah.
He's an actor. But he's never let it get to his head, at least in my humble opinion. True. And I think, around here, he's just one of the guys. But he really hasn't changed. He's still the same guy that he was when we were growing up as kids and, playing basketball on the blacktop at Riverdale Elementary School in 1964, whatever it was, many years ago. I guess they had blacktop. Maybe it was dirt. I don't know.
No, out there, buddy. I think I don't think the budget was very big for River.
Dirt in those days. Yeah.
Where is it? Riverside? What was it? Riverdale. There you go, Riverdale.
Now here's the guy from Kerman giving me a hard time.
That's so true.
Well, that's the last thing you should be doing. And for people who don't know, Kerman is about 20 miles from Fresno.
Yes, 20 miles
west of Fresno, and Riverdale is 25 miles southwest of Fresno. And Kerman and Riverdale have always been big rivals in sports over the years, and proud to say that we kicked their butts in football.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you? I think that's fake news. I mean, that's some FBI. So I'm gonna have FBI go break into your house and give me
investigate that.
Yeah, we need a special master for that.
By the way, before we get into before we get into the heavy stuff, on this day.
Ooh, okay. On this day,
a very significant day in the course of world history. On September 1st, 1939. Do you know what happened?
1939. 1939. First. I don't know.
Germany invades Poland.
Oh,
and World War II begins.
Well, that's very
on this day in
1939.
In 1939.
I don't know why I kept thinking it was 40.
No, 1939.
1939. Man, I got to go back to school. Never mind. I don't want to go back to school because then they'll teach me that.
That's where the Blitzkrieg came in.
Are you sure it wasn't 40?
My sources.
You're okay. You're good.
Sources are impeccable.
You're all right. My bad. I apologize.
Now, if it comes back as 1940, my credibility, which was low already, will be absolutely none.
I trust Bob the Bullet Leone, so you're good. Now, before we get into the heavy stuff,
okay.
Well, this actually is heavy for our region here. Tonight's a big night for Fresno.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a big night. Jeremy, hit it. Now, go. Audio. Oh, my bad. It's me. It's Fresno State football. That's right. Do you know the fight song? It's your alma mater.
No, I don't.
Go Bulldogs.
No.
We need to win because we need money for the stadium. Now, bigger, better. Please show up to the game tonight and every other game if we don't win.
At the newly renamed Valley Children's Stadium.
This is very, very true.
Which in and of itself is a lot of controversy, and we could spend a whole show locally on doing the naming rights to Bulldog Stadium.
Easily. Now, producer, I apologize. That was my fault. I had it potted down. When I say go next time, it's potted up. We're ready to go. We have a new system, which I have been bragging about that we did not need. And my very good friend who's in broadcasting said, Guillermo, did you need one? I said, no. He's like an old trick, buddy.
Why did you get a new system?
Because it's the newest thing. You got to have the newest thing.
Does that improve the quality or
not yet? not just yet. But he said, Guillermo, if the car is running, Don't look under the hood. And I was like, why not? Let's look under the hood. Let's rip out everything and let's rip out the motor.
All this cash burning a hole in my pocket. Let's buy stuff we don't need.
Why not? Let's rip out the motor and put a battery in there because that's working for California and the nation just well. Bob the Bullet.
We could talk about that.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
The EV issue.
Don't worry. We're coming back to that.
Okay.
But I want to talk about Fresno State football because this is, in all seriousness now, this is a very, very pivotal season. That's the way the local media has been pinning it. Like, hey, look, Bulldogs, you got Valley Children's now has come in and have the naming rights to Bulldog Stadium. And you guys want to do a sales tax increase to benefit the stadium and to rebuild the stadium. I don't want to put pressure on the Dogs, but if the Bulldogs don't deliver, I think the Fresno is going to be not showing up to the games, which will then show the community that you don't need a better, bigger stadium if nobody wants to go to the current one. So Bob, are you on the same note? And you're an alumni.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're vested. And you also are a season ticket holder.
Yes.
Season ticket holder.
30-some years now.
30. How much were the tickets? Season ticket, $20? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the going rate is.
Well, we don't. I'm not in the prime seats. You understand? I'm in the bleacher seats.
Is there a prime seat in the Bulldog in Valley Children's Stadium?
Well, yeah, you can get the regular seats.
The faded red seats?
Yeah, the faded red seats that are now pink looking because of the great upkeep that they have.
They can't slap on a coat of paint. They are pink.
Yeah, they've changed kind of to a pink color because they've been in the sun forever.
If I were
the stadium's 40-something years old.
You know, I'm a big trash talker, Bob. If I were the opposing team, if I were Cal Poly, that's who they're playing tonight. If I were Cal Poly, I'd be making fun of them. I said, yeah, we're going over there, and all you people in those pink seats be right. Oh, this supposed to be right? You ain't got enough money? Oh, well.
Instead of the red wave, it's the pink wave.
Yeah, and if I were the head football coach, I'd walk in with a bucket of red paint.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me. I like poking.
So I sit in the bleachers. I think it cost for 2 tickets this year $350 or so.
Both?
For 2 tickets, yeah.
$150 a piece for the whole season.
Yeah.
Bleachers.
Yeah, bleacher seats.
All right,
but
that's not bad. That's
they are the good bleacher seats.
Good bleacher seats, yeah. You got no back.
You can't. We do have a back. We're on the top row, and we have a cement backing.
Oh, so you're way up there.
Yeah, we're row 62.
You're way up there. Yeah. I got it. Okay, hey, you know what?
And over the years, my eyesight has increasingly gotten worse, so it's real tough to see.
You don't know where the ball's going. All right, hey.
When you reach a certain point. But you're right. They need to They're going to have a great offensive team. The question is always, of course, the defense.
Yeah.
But they've got 3 or 4 guys that have already been named preseason first team all conference, including Jake Hayner, who's one of the top quarterbacks in the country as far as passing is concerned. So it is a big year for them to make sure that they can be successful, get people in through the turnstiles, and help refurbish that stadium.
Game night tonight, Fresno State, Cal Poly. You're going.
Yep.
I'm not going.
39,000 of my closest friends.
39,000. I honestly, I hope it sells out, and I hope it's a big success. I've always wanted Fresno to be a football town. I really have. I've always wanted this town to have that to rally behind, because if you don't rally around something as a community, you're just there. Yeah. And football is one of those things that is there that we have. We have the ability to rally around it. But I don't lie to people. I don't think this is a football town. I went to Michigan State University.
Yeah, but you're trying to compare the Big 10 or Big 12 to the Mountain West Conference.
I'm not even trying to. Well, I guess I am. Okay, fine.
When you go to Michigan State or any of the big schools back east, where football is like a religion. And I had a buddy who went to University of Michigan. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't want to hear this story.
And he's a great guy.
You're a liar, probably.
And when they have 102,000 people, and I don't know how Spartan Stadium,
a big house,
85,000.
Yeah, about 85, yeah.
But it's full.
Oh, packed.
So when you go there, and then you come here, and you see a stadium with less than half of that, and then when there's only 20,000 in the 40,000 seat stadium, you're going,
yeah, but I want that. We're not a football.
Well, of course.
You think we could ever be? Because that's essentially, I think the proponents that are backing the football stadium expansion, and I don't lie to my people. Don't lie to the listeners. Mm-mm. The expansion is being supported by a huge construction guy, who I'm sure will get the contract on the construction.
Gee, what a surprise.
So I just want to, be fair. I want to let everybody know, but I don't believe that even if you build it better, people are going to go, and this is going to create this sense of football community. You know what you ought to do is you ought to demo.
Well, you're looking at me like I'm a principal in this thing.
Well, you're an alumni, so you got some pull.
I'm just a Joe on the street.
You're not some Bob the Bullet. You got to, I want to see, you know what they need to do? They need to demolish everything around it, all right? Demolish the apartments. They need to demolish the softball, the baseball diamond. They need to just level it all. No, hear me out. This is the key to the success. All right, who's the president right now of the Bulldogs? Whoever he is, Juan Sandoval, I think it is. President Sandoval over at Fresno State. This is what you got to do, all right? Keys to victory. These are the keys to victory for your football program. You need to go undefeated this season, just by the way. Just do that. Well, and you need to demo everything around it, okay? And then you need to create a little village. You know, we'll call it Bulldog Village, right? Okay. Where it's a kind of the stadium is the center, and you have businesses that are all around it.
No, you have that already.
You have what? Where?
Right there at the corner.
Taco Bell.
Cedar.
You got Taco Bell and a Wendy's, and you think that's going to bring some school spirit? There's a Taco Bell and a Macy's furniture store. Who buys?
The north side is that little strip mall.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh man, thriving metropolis.
I'm just glad that you want to see them be successful, because
I do.
If they're successful, it's good for everybody.
I do. I'm tired of that fake hope, that Obama hope. Every season, this is that Obama hope that we get with Fresno State football. It really is. Let me be clear. The Bulldogs will win to maybe tonight. Maybe we need you.
Well, they should win tonight.
They should win tonight. Cal Poly. All right, I think I pontificate. You know where I stand.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows where I stand.
I think, but
I want them to win, but I want them to level most of everything around it.
Well, they need to get rid of that. They need to do a lot of things to the stadium, and to bring it up to snuff.
So you think you spend money?
They're going to have to spend money.
All right. Yeah. Well, before we get the audio ready to go, that's your signal. Before we get the audio ready to go, I'll just be. You know what's a win? What will be a win tonight for the Bulldogs?
What's that?
There's no fighting. No fighting.
Yeah, so that's always a positive.
No
thing.
fighting. Yeah. For those of in our national audience, Fresno's a very safe place, but sometimes
so you go to a football game.
Sometimes the other Bulldogs show up to the Bulldogs, yeah. And what I mean by that is gangs, the Bulldog gang members, and we do have some fights. Let me tell you, the only thing I remember from last season, I went to that where there was a huge gang fight at the stadium. I don't remember who they played. I remember the fight. I don't remember what the score was. I don't even remember Fresno State won that night, but I remember the fight.
Yeah, well, I was there.
You were there?
There was one that started right up by me.
Yeah.
On the top level, and then the one that got the national notoriety was the one that was down in the end zone where the guy got kicked and rolled about.
He rolled
40 steps down the end zone.
I could still see it. And then did you see the Fresno PD officer trip over cords in
trying to get there? Yeah, well,
so bad.
It was not a good image.
It was not
anybody,
a good
for anybody.
So hey, look, Bulldogs, if we can't pull out the W tonight, let's just try not to fight with each other, huh? How's that? Let's just chalk that up as a win. Let's just no fighting. All right, go.
What is?
All right, so Fresno State, we wish you the best tonight. We hope that the Fresno State Bulldog football players get let out and not the other Bulldogs that are gang members in the stadium. So let's just hope for that, and that's a win. That's a big win. All right, Bob the Bullet, let's get to the heavy stuff.
Okay.
As if that wasn't heavy enough for our listeners. Joe Biden tonight.
A big thing going on tonight.
Addressing the nation.
Yeah.
Special address to the nation. You will not remember where you're going to be at that time tonight in history. Addresses to the nation, Bob, by presidents are normally something that is pretty serious, right?
Yeah, you would think.
When I remember, I think the first primetime address that I remember is when W addressed the nation right after the attacks of September 11th that night. I remember that. I remember when Barack Obama used it, and I don't think he used it maliciously. This use of the bully pulpit, which the president has, addressing the nation, and he can do it whenever he wants. Really,
I don't really have a problem with that.
I have a problem with it because it should be. It's a special time to communicate.
It depends on what the message is, right?
Okay, You're right. I don't have a problem with him using
exactly. But what's the message going to be?
All right. So the message tonight is going to be the soul of our country,
of our nation.
Democracy
is at stake.
And it's going to be in the great state of Pennsylvania. It's going to be right outside of Independence Hall, which is quite fitting. Let me tell you how the Pennsylvania ABC has it. He will talk about, this is the White House. I apologize. The White House says that Biden will talk about the progress we have made as a nation to protect our democracy, but how our rights and freedoms are still under attack. And he will make clear who is fighting for those rights, fighting for those freedoms, and fighting for our democracy. Biden has increasingly, and this is not the White House, this is ABC from out of Philadelphia. Biden has increasingly sought to portray the November elections as a choice for voters between ultra MAGA Republicans and Democrats. He told supporters last week that they had to vote to literally save democracy once again, and labeled some Republican ideology as semi-fascism. So, Bob, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, Alan and I had touched on this the other day. What is today? Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
We talked about it on Tuesday, and it again, he can use his pulpit for whatever he wants, and the real question is, what's the message that's going to be delivered? He's going to insult, in my humble opinion, about half of the country, or half of the folks who voted.
But he's a uniter.
And MAGA Republicans, I'm not sure what that is, unless that is someone who is a staunch far-right advocate.
Do you think I'm a MAGA Republican?
No, because I think you have some common sense and good judgment on occasion.
But see, I would consider myself a MAGA Republican.
Do you?
Yeah.
But you're not a semi-fascist, are you?
No, but but MAGA Republicans aren't fascists or semi-fascists.
That's my point. Dropping these names like that, he's lumping everybody. Just what they say they don't want to do. They want to bring people together. But when you start lumping a huge segment of the American population as MAGA Republicans simply because they voted for someone, in the last or the prior election, that's putting everybody in the same boat, and we're not all in the same boat. I'm a registered Republican. I'm a conservative, but I don't feel I'm a far right zealot for Donald Trump.
No.
You know my feelings on Trump. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think maybe I speak for a lot of people. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just speak for myself. But my point is, there are a lot of folks out there who are like I am, who are not semi-fascist, threats to our democracy.
Yeah.
And our country's withstood a lot of different attacks and things over the years, and we'll survive this. But I don't think you can go around and accuse a majority of the American population, or at least half of the American population who voted for another candidate, as being semi-fascist. Is that what he's saying? That all of these folks are that I'm a semi-fascist? That you're a semi-fascist? I mean, that's a pretty serious charge.
It is. Tonight's speech, Bob, is the campaign speech. That's all it is. He doesn't have rallies, right? He doesn't have when he goes somewhere, he doesn't have people around him. He doesn't have what Donald Trump has, where he's able to, pull up a mic and get, thousands of people there. So this is his version of a campaign speech that he's dubbing as an address to the nation. Now, I don't think he cares. I don't think the White House cares. I don't think the legacy media cares about what he calls anyone, because if you look at the track record of the White House, the legacy media, ABC, NBC, CNN, they don't care about facts. They don't care about, making sure that people that aren't fascists are not called fascists. They really don't care about any of that. So they're going to go in. They're all going to go knee deep and say, you know what, this is what he says goes. This is the president. He knows America. America elected him. So he's going to go out there, the campaign speech, and he's going to go out there and say, listen, here's the reality. You see, those Republicans, you see how bad they're. He's going to go, he's going to call Republicans, anti-American. They're stopping progress. They're stopping my agenda. And all you have to do to save democracy, democracy's in peril, democracy's on her knees. All you have to do is elect Democrats and you're good to go. in November, because we're the ones that are going to save this country. And thank God that we're here willing to save you from those evil Republicans. And you know why he's doing it, Bob? He's doing it because it is a successful message. He won on that in 2020.
It worked.
It worked.
I'd probably do the same thing.
Right. If you played football, and we got football tonight, if you go out there, Jake Haener goes out there and finds a hole in their defense and just easy score, and then you go back out there when you get the ball again and you see the exact same thing. What are you going to do? You do it again.
Exploit the thing.
Exploit it. Yeah. So you know what I'm mad at?
What?
I am extremely upset at conservatives. I am. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at Republicans because we have allowed the Democrats to always put us on our heels. I feel like ever since 2016, we're so reactionary. We're reacting to everything. We're always having to respond. The Democrats bombard the political sphere with so much. Republicans are bad like this. They're bad. They want to take away women's right to choose. They want to kill our planet. They want to take over the country. They are racist. And we're like, wait, no, we're not. We don't want to take over the planet. What are you talking about? No, we don't. We care about life.
We're always on the back foot.
We're always on our back foot.
Trying to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
Or defend against the accusation or allegation. Yeah.
It is. So the fact that he's even doing this, I think, unfortunately, I know our viewers and our listeners will disagree, and feel free to call in 899-1550, 559-899-1550. But I think it's a win, and it's really irritating. Even though his approval rating, I think, came in at 38%. You have 40% of the country that's going to believe whatever he says tonight.
Well, the latest I heard is that 53% disapproval rating of the job that he's done so far. 53%. We'll see we'll see if that is maintained, especially through the midterms, but or his message is maintained through the midterms. But that's a lot of folks.
It is.
I don't know how it's going to turn out in a couple of years for the election, obviously, but that's a lot of folks that do not approve of how things are going in the country right now.
But do they want to vote for Trump again? That's the $1 million question.
Yep, that's going to be the $64.
That's the $1 million question. Yep. $64 then. $64 question. And I was listening to Brian Kilmeade this morning, who we have on from 6 to 9 a.m. And I don't know what guest he had on, but they were talking about how Trump just has tons of unforced errors, like that you keep giving him stuff to talk about.
Well, and that's
not that I don't agree with that though, but.
Well, I've always felt that the guy takes one step forward and two steps back. He's sometimes his own worst enemy.
But that's all. You get Trump, you get all of Trump.
Well, I understand that. But back to your comment, he's giving the other side
he is.
tremendous ammunition against him, because he's not gonna go away now. I mean, he's going to stay in the spotlight. And to me, the more he stays in the spotlight, the more opportunity he has to step on his own foot and create a problem for himself that they will pick up on and they will run with it.
Speaking about Donald Trump being in the spotlight, producer, if you don't mind, can you check on this? I think on tomorrow, I think Donald Trump is going to address. Well, he obviously doesn't, not president, so he can't address the nation. But I think on Friday. I think he's going to speak and say something. And people are saying, is he going to jump in already? Is he going to make a presidential announcement to jump in, which I think would be. You can double check me. I heard it on Kilmeade this morning. I'm not sure if Donald Trump is.
That'd be a little bit premature. Don't you think?
I will. No.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be against it, honestly. It does two things. For him, let me talk about what it does to our nation. It will separate our nation even more, and it'll separate conservatives even more, because at that point in time, he's telling the world, really, but he's telling the Republican Party, I'm in. So you're either, we're drawing the line right now. We're drawing it early. You're either with me or you're against me. I don't think it's beneficial before the midterm, because we got to be for every Republican on the ticket nationwide. So I'm not sure we need to do this early. I wouldn't be opposed to it, because you got to counter what the Democrats are doing. The Republicans right now, we're not countering anything, Bob. We're it's almost as if we're reactionary. We're helpless. So maybe, you know what? Maybe we do need someone to say, hey, you know what? I'm here.
So you think that might be the jump start to get people into action to get out and vote more in the midterms?
I think it might. I think it might. And this is why I'm also not opposed to it. This is why I'm also not opposed to it. So let's say he comes out, he says, hey, let's say on Friday, he comes out and says, hey, I'm running. And all of a sudden we get bashed in the midterms. I mean, there's no red wave. Mm-hmm. I think at that point in time, I would be, I'm a big MAGA supporter. I support the former president. I think at that point in time, for me, the man jumps in, he starts campaigning, he holds rallies from now until November, and we lose. I'd have to take a step back and say, okay,
well, that's a good point.
America's not buying this. So, I mean, I think that's
a good point.
I think there's pros and I think there's cons to it.
No, I hadn't thought of it that way.
Producer, did we figure out if he's... No? We don't know what the president's doing? All right, we don't know what the president's doing.
We know what the president's doing.
We know what the president...
We don't know what Trump is doing.
What Trump is doing.
But I think I read something that he was going to make some kind of a speech. Kevin McCarthy is going to, after tonight's speech by President Biden, he's going to be making a rebuttal.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he's going to be.
Did not know that.
He's going to be issuing a rebuttal to the speech.
Does it matter?
I don't think it does. And
does it matter?
And I'm not a big Kevin McCarthy fan either.
Is there a Republican you like besides me and me? I was going to say me and Alan. Alan's an independent. You like me, Bob?
I love you, Bob.
All right, that's the right answer.
You're one of the brightest young people I know.
You know why that's the right answer?
You're one of the few.
Because I could turn you off. That's why that's the right answer, Bob.
Because you have the control.
Because I got the control. I'm like Biden right now. Here's the deal, man. Bob the Bullet Leone. All right, before we, you got Jean-Pierre is live from the White House right now doing her press briefing, and she's talking about the extreme MAGA.
What is the extreme MAGA agenda, since you're a MAGA supporter?
So
what is it?
Let's not forget what MAGA stands for. It stands for Make America Great Again.
It seems fairly reasonable to me.
It does, right? It's not like, hey, make America racist, and that's what the left wants you to believe, right? They want you to believe that, hey, if you're wearing a red hat, you're racist and you want us to go backwards. It's the dumbest argument. I think the MAGA movement is a movement that should be centered on America and America first. Let's just say if Ron DeSantis becomes the Republican nominee, I want him to carry on the MAGA movement, or you've heard it as America First, right? It's the America First movement. I want this country to be first and foremost on our leaders' minds, whether you're the dog catcher in Fresno County or president of the United States. I want America to be first and primary. And I'm not saying that everyone else is second. Well, actually, I am. If America's first. Yeah, everyone else is second. But that's not bad, right? You got to take care of. Do you think Putin thinks of Russia first? Well, actually, Putin just thinks of himself first. But you know what I mean. To me, that's what the MAGA movement is, Bob.
So what are these radical, extreme...
They're lies.
Visions that supposedly the president's going to be speaking about tonight? I don't see it. And granted, I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier.
Look over here, Bob.
And I do.
Look over here.
Oh, now I see it.
So that's what the president's doing tonight.
Okay.
He's saying, hey, look over here at these racist MAGA Republicans because they're going to be a threat to democracy. Don't look over here at the economy, international affairs.
And that's what I think a lot of this is tonight. It's twofold: to bash a certain segment of our population, and to deflect from the real status of the country, and where we're at with the economy and inflation and all of the real prescient issues that concern everyday Americans.
Yeah.
Really, you're going to call a bunch of people names. Okay, but that doesn't solve the problem of inflation.
Yeah,
that doesn't solve the problem of the gas prices, which, by the way, is caused by Putin. But
it's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive to build anywhere right now. I do want to share. Well, maybe later. Remind me to share everyone on how this crisis is affecting me personally. How expensive everything is. So I want to talk about that later, Bob.
Okay.
But I want our listeners to know that we will be carrying the president's speech live right here during my show. So as soon as the president speaks tonight, we'll be carrying it live, and I will be giving you my 411. And we might even take Kevin McCarthy because we're not in his district, but our viewership, our listener our tower is
close.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be taking his response as well. 5 p.m. tonight, right here on the Best Talk in town.
That'll be pre-tailgate.
That's true.
Game. So
I think a lot of.
I may have to miss the speech.
You're not going to be listening to my show, Bob.
Well, I will.
Yeah, good luck today, Bob.
Yeah,
at Fresno State. I'm a Michigan Stater. Don't forget. No, I'm just not. So let me ask you this because, man, we're blowing through this time. I know we're supposed to take a commercial break, but let's hold off because we can do that. So let me ask you this because
can I have a drink?
Yeah. Go to take a break since I'm going straight through.
I'm an old man. I just can't sit through this whole thing without taking a break.
Bob, democracy's in peril, and you want to date, and you want to drink some water.
Perish.
People in Mississippi don't have water right now, Bob, and I shouldn't be joking about it, but that's terrible. That's another issue that that's a bad deal that we got to address. Democracy. Do you believe? Let me ask you this flat out. Do you believe democracy is in danger?
No.
You don't?
No. Nobody's been able to tell me what this so-called right extremist.
Well, no, but let me ask you that because there's some Republicans that believe our republic is in danger because of the left.
Well, that's so. I was thinking more of it from
Biden, but no,
yeah.
Just general question: when you take a step back and you look at this country, Bob, do you think our democracy is in danger? Because some Republicans will say, "Oh, heck yeah, it is, Guillermo. Look at the left. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing to our kids. Look at what they're doing in every single city. If we don't get a hold on this, we're going to lose America being a country." So the premise tonight, democracy is in danger. Is it in danger? Is our democracy in danger? Is America in danger? Is America standing on the world stage in danger?
That's a lot of questions.
It's a lot of questions.
Yeah, I feel like I'm under interrogation. Well, I was looking at it from Biden's standpoint, and the right being the so-called, problem with democracy or threat to democracy. I don't think it's from the right. There are certain. I don't know if I can answer.
It's a tough question. I don't expect.
There are certain things that the left is doing that would certainly bring into question. For example, they want to stack the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Bring in Puerto Rico and D.C. as states.
But the premise, democracy in danger. That means if something's in danger, what do you got to do? You got to jump in and help, right? Like, hey, you're in danger. I'm gonna try to mitigate the danger, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't even answer the question I posed.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I will tell you this. I think America, our standing in the world, Bob, is in danger. I think I think democracy. Listen, and I know a lot of Republicans are gonna get really irate at me. Our republic, I don't think will ever cease being a republic, Bob. I think at some point in time, I think
we better hope not.
I think we're going to come close because if you allow the left to control elections, we're going to become close. But I think at the end of the day, America has something special. And I don't think we're going to opt for another system. So when Republicans start saying, you know what, America, we're doomed. You start seeing all the books on Fox, how democracy, America's going to die. I don't think America's going to die.
I don't think so.
But
we've, as I said earlier, we've weathered some big storms in the past.
We have,
due to the fact of our form of government.
Yeah,
that no one man can be a powerful as a monarch.
And be careful because the left thinks that Trump will be king.
Well,
and us MAGA people will make him king.
I guess that's the real interesting thing is that this guy. In a lot of people's minds, that's exactly what they think he's going to do. There's no way he's going to be able to do that based on our system. Is there?
Well, I don't. You'd have to. They believe he. Well, my thing when I tell these radical lefties, I'm like, hey, if he wanted to become king, he had 4 years to try it. He would have done it or tried to.
I guess I still have an overall faith in the system.
I do too,
and how it works. When we lose that. Then we've got a real problem.
And that's why I'm going back to the elections.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Bob.
When you lose that, then I think we've all got a real problem. We still have to maintain our faith in the ability of this country to pull itself up and do the right thing. over the course of time.
Yeah.
So that it's just that, you're always going to have these issues. Abraham Lincoln was not the most popular president either during the course of the Civil War. I mean, he had 13. Are
you doing a Liz Cheney reference right now? Are you
13 states?
Are you going to say that Biden is like Abraham Lincoln? Where are you going with this, Bob?
My point is that there have been a lot of presidents simply because of the position they're in and the actions that they took who were highly unpopular.
Yeah.
And elections and campaigns throughout the history of this country have been very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Hostile to the other party. So this is really nothing new. It's been going on forever within this country. And we've always managed to step up.
It's true. I love it. I think it's a good note to end the first segment, which is now 43 minutes long, or not 43, but you get the point. Bob,
are we going to take a break?
Yeah, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, you got 3 stories. Bob's big 3 stories.
Okay.
It involves a special agent named Sarah Palin who knows an oil magnate who is now dead. We'll be back right here on the Alan Autry Show. Hi, everybody.
Can't hear me.
Yeah, there you go. Now they can hear you. Hey, so after this, we'll just have a minute. You see it?
Oh, my word. Man, stuff is happening so quickly. You can't keep up with it.
You can't keep it.
You just really have to pick and choose what you're going to be able to talk about.
You can't talk about everything.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, so it looks like there's a 1-minuter after this, and then it's a floating break. I'll take over the end of the show that way because I think there's too much scheduled. So I'll take it over. After this, but right now, you're good. You can take over until then. Hey, on Facebook, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Alan will be back mañana. He will be back mañana, free for all Friday.
You're going to be here. I'm going to be gone tomorrow. That's why I'm here today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just me and Alan.
By special request.
Me and Alan.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I wanted you here. Special request.
We have our monthly high school, kind of the group of guys that we hung out with, including Alan.
No way.
We have a monthly lunch.
That's awesome.
We've been doing it for 7 or 8 years now. Yeah.
Back. All right, my bad.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Guillermo Moreno filling in for Alan Autry. Bob the Bullet.
Hey.
Good to see you. Also helping me out here with the guest hosting duties. Alan Autry will be back mañana. I don't want our listeners to forget, I mentioned it on my show, but next Wednesday, September 7th, next Wednesday, there's going to be a press conference. There is a lawsuit that will be filed against Clovis Community Medical Center. A couple of Fresno doctors from family members who lost loved ones during the COVID-19 who were poisoned by remdesivir. Dr. Peter McCullough is flying into town, and a lot of doctors that have been trying to sound the alarm on during COVID with regards to remdesivir poisoning and the protocols in the hospitals. So there will be a landmark, we're calling it, a landmark lawsuit that's going to be filed, and the press conference will be right here in Fresno. So that's going to be happening September 7th. Huge.
Yeah.
Which is, no one's holding these people accountable.
Big deal.
Nobody's holding. So it's
deal.
Fresno's going to make it on national news, I'm sure, next.
And all of the fallout from I had a good friend whose wife unfortunately passed away right in the middle of COVID. Couldn't go to the hospital to see her. The family could not be anywhere around until she got to her 11th hour, and finally said, "Well, you can come in and say your goodbyes." I thought, wow, this really stinks. That's terrible. But that was their protocol at the time. But along the same lines of that, I mean, it was terrible stuff.
Yeah.
And she didn't die of COVID. She had another issue. But yeah, I mean, you can't even go see your loved ones when it comes down to their final few hours.
It was tough.
It was tough.
We had a friend that was at Clovis Community, and they didn't allow anybody in. The family wasn't in, and I went one night to see her, and she was already in the ICU. I think this was about maybe a week before she passed.
Mm-hmm.
And they had all of us right outside of the window, and you were able to watch from outside of the window. And this was at Clovis Community. That's scaffolding because they were doing something to it, and we were under the scaffolding. And the windows are actually pretty high where they have the ICU at Clovis, and we had buckets. We stood on buckets, and the window, I remember, came to about right here, and we watched her.
You couldn't talk to her.
Couldn't talk to her.
Yeah.
Her mother and her elderly father were sitting on chairs that they brought.
I mean, the story. Some of these things are just horrendous.
And she was unconscious. I mean,
yeah.
And her son was there. It was just.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. And then you look down and you see other family members. It's just
same situation.
Same situation. So listen, I'm not against the medical industry. I have the utmost respect for doctors. I have the utmost respect for our healthcare professionals. There's a lot of stuff went down during that time. I think a lot of protocols were shoved in people's faces. They were not willing to. I think the medical profession got hijacked by the government, and the medical profession felt that their voices individually were too small to really do anything. And it was the medical profession let me down during COVID. And although I don't like people suing each other, I think what happened at Clovis Community, I think what happened in a lot of Fresno hospitals, when family members were saying, "Hey, I want to try something else," or "Hey, I think you guys, you did something wrongful. You shouldn't have done this." Someone has to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And so,
it was a tough time for everyone. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. How far that, what the discovery they do and all of that.
Yeah. So September 7th, I do know, and I don't know if I'm allowed to. I probably shouldn't, but it's going to be held. I think I can tell. Yeah, it was on the press release. It's going to be held right in front of the Fresno Veterans Memorial Auditorium in downtown Fresno, September 7th, and they've already been getting threatened about doing this there. So
someone is threatening the people who are going to do
the press conference, that you can't do it there. You can't do it at all. You better not do it. So, I mean, it's amazing
that's an interesting venue for sure.
It is an interesting venue. I I think you do it there because we lost a lot of our elderly. I think maybe that's why they chose the venue. But September 7th, we'll be covering it. We'll be carrying it live.
Yeah, that's
so I'll be.
That's big news.
It is big news.
I hadn't heard about that. But that's big time.
Big news.
Yeah.
Big news. Big news tonight. Fresno State football. I want to listen. I want to promote it. It's tonight. It is tonight.
Yeah.
Whether
well, it's going to be on TV.
Is it going to? Whoa.
They have all 12 of their games televised this year.
ESPN, the Ocho?
No, this is going to be on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports
FS1.
So, yes, FS1, 7:35 Pacific. So for all of our loyal listeners back east, it'll be 10:35.
There you go.
In the evening, so you'll probably already be in bed. But you can read about the score on Friday.
Go Dogs.
I'm not a real big fan of Thursday night games. I think college football should be Saturday.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Saturday day games, I don't,
Well, I'm Seventh-day Adventist. Saturday's God's day.
Oh, okay.
It needs to be moved.
Okay.
All right. You need
to win.
Saturday's God. You need to move it to Sunday. Just move it to Sunday with NFL. All right.
Never last against the NFL.
No kidding. All right, Bob the Bullet, you got Bob's Big Three. Bob's Big Three. We're introducing it now. I just came up with it, and because Bob, you always have stories that you think, Guillermo, we gotta talk about this.
Well, I don't know if this is national news, although it was in some of the national feeds. Sarah Palin. Was defeated
from Mozilla.
From Mozilla, Alaska, was defeated in a special election, congressional seat, by Mary Peltola, the first Native Alaskan. Elected to Congress.
Democrat, Republican?
I don't know. I didn't check.
Can we look up what she is? Democrat, Republican?
Yeah.
I like Palin. I really like Palin.
I never had a problem with her.
I liked her.
See, I like some of those folks.
Yeah, with the First Republic. I really like Sarah Palin. She was an interesting choice. She was definitely, her story is, it's an amazing story. I really like Sarah Palin. I hope now, this was a special election. Is she still in the general? I think she might still be in the general. And I don't know how they vote in Alaska. There's like some second chances. It's weird.
Well, it was called I have that listed.
I don't know. Do you know how they vote? I have no idea how they vote up there.
It was called ranked choice voting.
Ranked choice voting.
Yeah.
So I guess you rank them in the choice that you want?
Yeah.
And Sarah wasn't ranked number one very often, it looks like, if she lost.
If no one has a clear 50% majority.
Democrat. She's Democrat.
So went to a Democrat. I don't know if I want to get into this because it's a little bit confusing. At least it was to me. The voters rank the candidate by preference on their ballot. So you have all the candidates listed, and you rank them by your preference. This will be my first choice, my second choice. If a candidate wins a majority of the first preference votes, he or she is declared the winner.
The winner in Alaska.
The winner. That's what I was thinking of. He or she is declared the winner.
Okay.
If no candidate wins a majority of first preference votes, the candidate with the fewest first preference vote is eliminated.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
The first preference votes for the failed candidate are eliminated, lifting the second preference choices, if I could read my own, indicated on those ballots. So it goes up to the second preference then. A new tally is conducted to
this doesn't disenfranchise dumb people from voting? I'm just curious.
Disenfranchising me, and I'm reading this thing.
I agree. I got a doctorate.
Part of my problem, as you get older, your handwriting becomes worse.
Yeah.
And I could hardly read this thing, so my explanation is pretty poor today. I apologize, folks.
But it sounds so complex that it'd be hard to rig it.
And I'm thinking, why are they doing all of these things? Can't we just have a regular ballot, and count the stinking votes?
Bubble in the name that you want.
And go from there.
Yeah.
This seems to be way complicated.
Those Alaskans.
And maybe,
be
careful now.
I've never met an Alaskan that I like besides Sarah Palin. I don't think I've ever met an Alaskan. As I think about it, I don't think you ever met an Alaskan?
It's never come up in conversation.
I don't know. Producer, you ever met an Alaskan? Alaskan. Who? Silas is from Alaska? He was born there?
Oh. His
brother. I didn't know. Okay, never mind. I know a kid from Alaska.
Hey, have we heard anything about the decision the judge was supposed to have
was a special master
on the special master? Well, you're the legal guy. You're the legal guy. You know, if they bring special masters in, an independent third party.
You know, we don't help ourselves as democracy when we call people special masters and bring word terminology like
Game of Thrones or something.
It is just absolutely it is insane.
Anyway, the judge was supposed to decide whether she was going to appoint a special master to review the documents that were seized in the raid in August at Mar-a-Lago. And I haven't seen anything come across the wire yet. So the wire. That's old radio talk from 1978.
All right. So we got the special master. Eventually that'll probably be coming down. Oil magnate let's talk about this guy.
Interesting story. At least I thought it was. The head of the Russian oil giant Lukoil, Pavel Magarov, died Thursday after falling out of a hospital window, which was the original report. Interesting, though, Magarov had previously criticized Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine. Yeah. They do say that Magarov was in ill health, which is the reason he was in the hospital. So yet another rival, Putin's rival is
dead.
Bites the dust.
You know, they couldn't even, the Russian mafia over there, the Russian mob doesn't even care anymore. Like, hey, just the pillow, right? The guy's in the hospital already. There's at least 3 different ways you can make it look.
Well, the bottom part of the article says the cause of death was undetermined.
Oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding. No way.
Well, maybe he fell out of a first floor window. I don't know. But it was almost comical reading that.
You're not being
Unfortunately,
This is like that law school.
Mr. Magarov is no longer with us.
It's like the law school essay exam where who's at fault? The guy who died having a heart attack, but he got shot. But on his way down, this girl kicked him, and another guy came in and sliced him,
busted his head,
and he had COVID at the same time. What was the cause of death? Yeah. It was like,
all of the above.
I don't know. All right, producer, go ahead and send us out with the Alan's. I love Alan's.
Are we done already?
Outro music. Yeah, we are. We're done. We got a couple of seconds. Bomb the bullet. Okay. It's always a pleasure to be in studio with you.
Thanks, Triple G.
Love you, man. Love you. Alan will be back mañana. Thank you so much. Laura, I'm sorry we didn't get to you. Hopefully we can get you on later on today on my show. As Alan says, do your best. Let God do the rest. We'll see you next time.